about 3 coffees in. You can't get any more wired than this. Ready for New York Open. When people say, Scott, do you set yourself a monthly profit target? No. If I get to the end of the month and I'm 2% in profit, I'll take it. You can't set yourself an expectation that you're going to make 5-10% every single month, because you will force the process. You have to then begin to learn how to deal with that patience yourself. Trading is a really great way of doing that. But you're either going to realize you just are too emotional and you'll stop trading and you'll go do something else, and that's fine. Or you'll realize just how badly you want to be a trader.
Good morning, TradeLocker.
How's it going?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How you doing?
I'm really good. I don't know if you know this, but I almost said mate because I always, when I talk to UK people, I always tend to say mate or lad. Sorry.
That's it. Hey mate, hey man, hey bro.
It's nice to talk to somebody that is not all the way in the East Coast, and it's morning for them, and I'm all hyped up because it's 3 p.m. for me. So yeah, man, I've been good. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, 2 p.m. over here, so about 3 coffees in. You know, you can't get any more wired than this. Ready for New York Open and ready for another good day's trading, that's for sure.
I'm gonna be honest. I recently stopped drinking coffee. It's been like 5 days, and it's really hard. But I'm excited about this test. I want to see if this experiment should help me.
Test of discipline.
Yeah, that's one of the things is, yeah, my discipline. Yes, definitely. Well, let's get.
It's good to be here.
Because you said you have only 30 minutes. I wanted to ask you, when we talked about what you want to talk about in this auditorium, you said prospective patients and habits.
Yeah.
I believe that lots of people here know and understand that you need to have lots of patience and how can that help you, but how can you actually practice it? How can you actually achieve it? I mean, maybe my question is, what was the first thing you learned about patience?
Patience for me, I think, was kind of drilled in at a young age. Quite fortunately for me, I had to work for every kind of instilled. So you have to then begin to learn how to deal with that patience yourself. And trading is a really great way of doing that, because you're either going to go one way or another. You're either going to realize you just are too emotional and it's just not for you, and you'll stop trading and you'll go do something else, and that's fine, because you've got to find the thing that's good for you, and trading's not for everyone, right? Or you'll realize just how badly you want to be a trader, and you'll go through all these challenges and you'll force yourself through it, experience and over time to be more patient. I don't think anyone can just be taught how to be patient just by reading a book or watching a video. It's something that takes time, and it links into like good healthy habits and the language that you speak, your inner dialogue, the things that you say in your own head. Like for me, I always used to kind of think in my head like, oh, because I'm a big fan of cars, right? I'm a big petrol head. I love cars. And I've had some nice cars in the past, but I've always said to myself, okay, if I really want this car, I know I'll get it at some stage, but it doesn't matter if it takes me 5 years. It doesn't matter if it takes me 10 years. And that's a really good way to tell yourself these things. Even if you might end up getting it next year, if you tell yourself it doesn't matter if you don't get it for another 5 to 10 years, you naturally build that kind of patience. When it comes to trading, I think it needs to be the same. I speak to traders obviously very often, whether that's in the mentorship or outside of the mentorship. Every day I'm speaking to someone, right? And a lot of the time when I'm asking them what are your trading related goals, one of the things that they say is, I want to be profitable by the end of this year, or I want to be profitable in 3 months' time. And I'm always answering them with the same reply, that I would never put a time scale on consistency, because if you don't reach it, you're going to be really disappointed. You don't actually know when that's going to happen. It will be at different stages for everyone. There's so many variables involved. You've just got disciplined and consistent in your daily and weekly habits, then that consistency will come. So you have to think, okay, instead of saying I want to be profitable by the end of the month or by the end of this year, you've got to think and you've got to say, I will be consistent and profitable at some stage, hopefully in the next 6 to 12 months, depending on what I do. But I know that that time will come at some stage. And I think that's a much better perspective to have. Because if it was as easy as saying, okay, in 6 months' time, I'm going to be consistently profitable, everyone would be profitable.
Yeah.
Like, if it was as easy as that, come on, like it took me 5-6 years to find any kind of profitability in trading. For some people, it might take 2 years. Everyone's different, right? And I started trading at the same time as perhaps hundreds of thousands of other traders worldwide. We're all getting to consistency at completely different times. So a lot of it's about perspective and inner dialogue and language and what we're setting ourselves as expectations and our perspective on, okay, what is achievable? You can achieve anything you want, but just try not to put a time scale on it. Don't pressure yourself too much because, like I say, you'll get to that time scale, that deadline that you set, and you'll be disappointed if you've not reached it. And the other negative to that is that you'll force yourself into, trades that you don't want to take, things like that. It's the same as like when people say, Scott, do you set yourself a monthly profit target for your trading? Like you want to reach 5% a month. And I'm like, no, because I'm happy with 2% in a month. If I get to the end of the month and I'm 2% in profit, I'll take it. If the next month I'm 7% in profit by the end of the month, I'll take it. Like you can't set yourself an expectation that you're going to make 5-10% every single month because you will force the process and there's no patience involved in that. And I guarantee most of the time, or at least half the time, you'll be forcing trades that are not meeting your criteria just so that you can get to that target.
Yeah.
So yeah, all those things kind of interlink.
So is that when you say don't pressure yourself? And I see when you talk about that, it creates all sorts of problems afterwards. So would you say that it's a really common mistake for the new traders? So people that even haven't their first trade on, they set so much pressure on themselves that they make so much mistakes afterwards.
Yeah, perspective is everything because your perspective, your outlook on life and on trading and what's achievable is what then everything afterwards falls into place, right? So I have a one-to-one mentorship that runs for 6 weeks at the moment, and I don't cover any technicals until week 2 because I want to make sure that in the first week I have the background story of that trader, what they've done up to now, what their goals are, what they want to achieve, what they think is realistic, and what they're going to work on as a foundation. And if I feel like they have maybe the wrong perspective on something, and it's usually only one thing, really. Like every trader's goal is to be profitable, to be consistent, to likely get funded so that they can make money without risking their own capital. Those 3 things are always there, right, as a trader. But then that 4th goal is I want to be X by this date. And I'm like, okay, it's possible, but don't hold yourself to that deadline because you could be profitable in 4 weeks, or it might be 4 months. It might be a year and a half. You don't know exactly how it's going to be. Even everyone coming through the same program could be trading the same strategy, but people still get different results. So yeah, perspective and patience, goal setting has to be the foundational block before you can actually apply a system, a process, or a strategy.
Okay, thank you. If I can connect this to another feeling, another problem that I believe a lot of people have. I'm not too sure if it's a problem, but you can tell me better. So I believe lots of traders, when they start, of course, they don't have a clear strategy, they don't have a clear plan and stuff like that. So they rely a lot on their intuition. Do you ever need to lose it completely? Do you control it? What's it like with controlling your intuition? How do you use it in trading?
Yeah, that's a very interesting topic. Like traders' intuition is definitely a real thing. And again, coming back to you might have 10 traders that are all in the same community that all, let's say, for the last 6 months have been trading the same asset classes, the same technical edge, but they will all have different results. Like one trader might say, oh, are you long? And then the rest are like, no, I didn't take that. Oh, so like some people will take it and then others will hesitate or they were waiting for something else. Now, everyone has the same list of rules, that criteria, that technical edge, which is super important, right? Some have it much higher mechanical, some have kind of medium to lower mechanical with discretion, but everyone has some kind of written criteria to tick off, like daily. We are bullish, printing higher highs, higher lows. 4 hour is in alignment with the daily. That's also printing higher highs, higher lows. Next thing I'll look at, has the higher time frame taken some form of liquidity recently? And how has price reacted to that? Okay, let's build that higher time frame bias to give me a direction for today. I'm only ever interested in what price is likely to do today. Don't care what's happening tomorrow because I'm not there yet. So right now, if I wasn't on this call, I'd be doing my analysis pre-New York session, which I already have done. So I'd be expecting higher prices on SP 500 based on everything that I've analyzed on the daily and the 4 hour, right? Then my execution is typically on the 15 minutes, sometimes refined down to a 5. But because I've got almost 10 years of intuition behind me, I will probably have certain confluences behind, okay, like yesterday, for example, the SP 500 ran into a 4 hour low, which I mentioned on a live call about 2 hours earlier to my mentorship students. I said, if we run into this, we may well see higher prices. And I took that trade about an hour later. But I did mention that 15-minute time frame will probably run in multiple times to that low. So just be very wary on that first initial run in. So I'm sat there waiting on the 15-minute for a few more candles to print rather than just executing straight away on a 4 hour low, because my intuition is my experience, as I've seen it happen many, many times. So I'm sat on the 5-minute and I see price running a second time. I don't enter on the first. I don't get stopped out. I enter on the second run in through what I've seen and what I've experienced, and then I get long. And I'm still holding that long now. Hopefully we hit TP at some point today. That'd be nice. But yeah, there's definitely some intuition involved. Like, I could give you my trade plan right now, but it would still take you time to process that and then experience that. And back testing and collecting data is part of the process of learning a new strategy and that learning process as a trader, but it can't replace real life trading. Like, you learn way more from a live market than you do from simulated markets and back testing and things like bar replay. So that's something that I have to build into the perspective of my trading students very early on, to say, okay, we will week 2, week 3 into this 6-week program be covering how to back test efficiently, how to collect data, how to go through that and the benefits of doing that. But note that that is not exactly a true representation of future results. And you're going to have to, sit in the trenches and actually take trades live and get a feel for it. Because when you're back testing, you can click through 3, 4, 5 days in less than a few minutes. Whereas right now, a 15-minute candle will take 15 minutes to print. So you're having to battle things like a lack of patience, fear of missing out, and greed, wanting to hold a trade longer than it should, or wanting to get involved before New York open. Like, New York doesn't officially open for another 15 minutes. So typically I'm not really looking at the charts till 2:30 UK time, because I know there's an injection of volatility, especially on indices and commodities. So you may as well just wait till then and then look to get involved.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good topic. It's a really interesting one.
Well, thank you, and thank you for explaining it so thoroughly. I mean, what I'm concerned, lots of times people talk about the markets and people talk about common mistakes traders make. If I'm correct, and everybody else is, probably there's lots more beginner traders on the market than experienced ones. And when I say experienced ones, I'm talking about profitable ones. So that's why you're teaching 2,500 traders and you're one person. Do you think that because of these, I would say, psychological factors that you said and common mistakes that they make, are the markets more driven by the psychological factors or the rational ones? Or you don't believe in that at all?
The way that I believe the market actually moves is nothing to do with the retail traders at all. I think it's just basically the institutes that have that large volume of capital that will do what they want in order to make money. And then us as retail traders are here almost like surfers. So we're trying to catch a wave and then we try not to get caught out. And that's literally the way I look at the markets. I'm trying to catch a wave that the big boys are controlling. So I don't think, even if there's 5 million retail traders today that all went long on gold could still drop, right? Because there's not enough capital in our trading accounts to be able to move the market. But in terms of like people's day-to-day trading decisions, like their emotions are 100% at play. Like, I hear traders say that psychology is nothing, everything's technical, and then I hear traders say it's nothing to do with the technicals, it's all psychological. Everyone's got their own opinion on that. For me, I'm 50-50 because, again, I could give you my trade plan right now. I have a workflow step by step from the daily right down to my execution time frame with all confluences and observations all tied into that. But it doesn't mean that you'll wake up tomorrow morning and make 10% in an hour, or even in 6 months to guarantee that you'll be a consistent, profitable trader. I know through speaking to someone whether they are going to have a successful 4, 5, 6 week period just by having a conversation with them, with how they are, their outlook on life, you know, how emotional they are in the questions that they're asking, things like that. Like if you're emotional in your day to day, if you've got high anxiety, if you've got a lack of patience, these things feed into your trading, whether you like it or not. So you definitely, it's 50-50, massively 50-50. And if you can find yourself in a more peaceful environment, and life will always throw you, right? But if you can find yourself at some kind of peace and just really get to know yourself, which again is through experience. And I think trading is a wonderful career to really get to know yourself. I had a fitness business for 12 years and it didn't teach me near enough about my own personality compared to what trading did. I used to be an extremely impatient person when it came to certain things and quite emotional. I'd have a, you know, short fuse, but now I'm just super chilled. And it's because I've learned and I've got coping strategies and I'm planning ahead, way ahead of my trading sessions. I know what music to play. I've mentioned it before. I'll even have like certain scents on in the house, like whether it's a candle or an incense stick or something, right? And I'll make sure that if I've got children in the house, which I have, I've got 4 children, and it's the summer holidays right now, so they've been off school for 5 weeks. But I'll make sure that I am away from the children or they're away from me, because otherwise I'm going to be distracted, right? So there's all these things that will actually have an effect on your trading ability.
Yeah, those are all the habits that you need to implement and build. But
Yeah.
building those habits and building patience and shaping your perspective, I would say these all of the things need to happen because of a common goal, and the common goal is to become profitable. I believe that a lot of traders say they want to become profitable, but you say you talk to them a lot and you know what kind of person they are. Are they? Did they ever mention something else alongside become profitable? Is it like, I want to become profitable and become rich one day, I don't want to work for anybody? Or is it sometimes I want trading to help me retire my parents, or I want trading to help me build something in my village or town or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, there's always a why behind everything we want, right? Some people are more vocal about what they want, and then other people I have to really drag it out of them. Like, I want to be consistently profitable. Okay, why? Well, I want to be funded and make some money. Why? And then the most common theme is they hate their job, or they work too much, or they want to be at home more. Maybe they want to spend more time with their family, things like that. And that's great. And I wanted the same as well. Although, again, it's perspective, because you could replace the 9 to 5 for trading and then be sat at the charts all day if you don't have the right systems in place, the right habits, the right processes, the right perspective. And I've been there myself, where I've had a fitness business that's ran 15, 16 hours a day. And then a few days a week, I'd be like, right, I'm going to trade. I'm not going to go to the business premises today. That's all managed. I've told my staff what they're going to do, and I'm going to trade the next 2 days. And I'm sat there, and then there'd be moments of reflection where I'm thinking, okay, I've just sat at this desk for like 7 hours. My body's all, seized up because I've been sat in this chair for so long. I've not actually achieved anything. And that's where you need to realize that actually there's more to life than sitting in a chair. So adopting things like kill zones is big. I tend to only trade for 1 hour during London and 1 hour during New York, sometimes 90 minutes. And a lot of the time I'll just wait and favor New York, because again, through experience and intuition, like we were speaking about, you realize what's better for your edge, but also what's better for you. And I speak to some traders that prefer London session, other traders that prefer New York. Also depends where you are in the world. Someone that's in Japan would be different to someone in the UK, different to someone on the west coast of the US, because you don't want to be getting up at 3 a.m. to place a trade, right? You're not going to make sound decisions doing that.
Yep.
So yeah, it does take time, but yeah, mostly people just want to change what they do for a living. But my most commonly given answer to that is just make sure you're not completely reliant on your trading income, because then you have to make money to pay the bills, right? So the way I see it is you've got 2 types of people. You've got the youngster, and even, that could be even someone in their 30s that still lives at home with their parents, rent-free or very low rent, doesn't have any dependents, doesn't have any children, has very low expenses, and that's fine. You might only need a few $100s a month to pay your bills. So you could quit your job and put all of your time and commitment for the next 12 months, 36 months in trading, right? But there will come a time that you'll want some independence. You'll want to move away from home, and you'll probably have children at some stage. Most people do, right? And then you've got the people that, like me, already had children, already had a mortgage, already had bills to pay. There's no way. If I just dropped everything else and relied on my trading profits to pay everything, my trading results would drop dramatically. And that's not a technical issue. That would be a psychological issue, because all you're thinking about is, I have to make money.
Yeah.
And if you get closer to the end of the month and you've not made any money yet, you're going to force things even more, right? So I've always saying to traders that are looking to either change their career, or sometimes they say, I want to become a full-time trader and quit the job. I'm like, you need to think about what else can you do to supplement your income alongside trading, or at least that can pay your bills, things that need to be paid, and then trading as a lifestyle supplement. So if you work a full-time job or a part-time job, or you have another business that can be completely away from business, and I have businesses that aren't trading related as well, make sure that that pays for the things that you need, like the roof over your head, the food on the table, the electricity, the water, things like that, even your car. And then when you make trading profits, that can accelerate your lifestyle. So that can pay for things like your retirement, days out, holidays, maybe a new car, things like that, right? And then as you get older, you start to diversify more. And that's the stage where I am now. I'm nearly 38 years old now. My oldest child's 14, my youngest is 2, and I'm starting to think about retirement already. I don't want to be working till I'm 70.
Of course.
That's for sure.
That's a good why.
So, and yeah, you got to think way far ahead, and you typically can't do that with one income stream. So it's about working on your trading as well as other things. You can build then opportunities. Why should you only rely on trading? I was thinking about this today. Why should you, in today's age, when you've got so much opportunity, why should you rely on just trading to make money when you're only trading 1 or 2 hours a day? What are you doing the rest of your time? Spending money?
No,
So you're not saving anything in life.
Thinking about it,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah, thinking about what trade you're about to place. That's it. So that's just as good as trading itself. So utilize your spare time. If you're going to quit your day job, do something else. And especially if you've got children, I think it's quite selfish actually, that if you're trading for a few hours a day and then doing nothing else, and you've got children that are going to aspire to you. This is something I was thinking about this morning actually, where I don't think I ever have to tell or force or teach my children how to be financially successful in the future, or to be fit and healthy, because children don't do as you say, they do as you do. So I've been self-employed since I was 19, and I was 21 when I had my first child. And so they are growing up in an environment where I'm working for myself, and so does my partner. Most of the time we work from home, but any day could be a weekend. I could take a Tuesday off at any, a drop of a hat. I don't have to ask a boss somewhere 50 miles away that I've never met to take a holiday that they might say no to. And if I wanted to, work less and reduce my salary because I'm working less, but I can travel more, then I can do that. If I wanted to earn more money, I could do that by deciding I'm going to work harder, and that would instantly translate into an outcome. Whereas if you're working for someone, you've got a salary. If you want to earn more money, you might be able to ask your boss for a 10% pay rise, but that's not going to do much, right? Even if they say yes. But my children are going to watch me create multiple businesses and make sure I look after my health, I eat right, I exercise 3 times a week. And you've got to think about those things as well. So everything interlinks. It's a fine balance. And you got to think way ahead into the future. Don't just be very fixed-minded that I want to quit the day job, I want to quit the 9 to 5 and become a full-time trader. That's very narrow, right? And you're going to back yourself into a corner. Think, I'm going to trade. What can I do alongside that? And then once you've accomplished consistent profitability in your trading, keep doing that. You've built healthy habits, systems, and processes. Keep building on that. And by the way, I'm always working on refinements and better ways that I can be a better trader. And this last 6 months has been incredible for me as a trader. And I know that in 2-3 years time from now, I'll be an even better trader than I am now, because I'm always looking for ways that I can improve, as well as making sure that I'm managing my time in order to be able to look at other opportunities away from trading that can look after my children's future and to enable me to retire healthily, right?
Yeah. And at the point when you are the best trader you can be, you'll probably retire.
Exactly. Yeah. The day that I'd be the best trader ever is the day that would be the last time I open up TradeLocker or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's now 2:28 for you. I believe, your time. So if you need to jump into your community, we can finish it off. If anybody has any
Appreciate that.
question, just drop it, but maybe Scott can answer later, or he can answer in his community. So feel free to join into his community. Go to his Instagram. I shared it. I'm going to share it here again. So jump over
Yeah,
there.
feel free. If you got any questions you want to ask me, just drop me a DM over on Discord or on Instagram, and later on I'll get back to you. No problem at all.
Well,
Thanks for having me on.
thank you, Scott, for jumping in again. It was great to talk to you. Always incredible insights. And I'm going to leave you to join over there because you only have a minute left. Thank you.
Let's see what New York brings.
Cheers.
Thanks, Antonio.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.